Hi there, it's Valerie from D2L. And in our session today, I had spoken about using Portfolio from the perspective of your e-learners would look like using the web browser. And I made another video for that I put in the Padlet. And in that video, I said I would also make one that would show you how teachers can also use Portfolio to ensure that they are easily aligning to growing success. So that's what I want to show you quickly here. And you can see I'm no longer logged in as a student. I am logged in as a teacher. So I'm going to go to my nav bar and I'm going to click into the portfolio icon. And what I'm going to see here is my class list and a high-level view of all my students. So I really like this because it gives me some high-level information. So for example, I can see the top third of the tile for each student has a picture. That picture is showing the last piece of evidence that student collected. So it allows me to be reflective and to kind of see where my students are at and how they're progressing with their learning. So for example, you can see there are some science experiment-like pictures here. Maybe science fair was a while ago. I can start questioning, why is that the last piece of evidence that these 3 students have submitted? Maybe I need to have a learning conversation with them, see if they need support. Or on the flip side, maybe that's not due for a little bit and they were really keen and eager and they did it well and they uploaded it and I want to give them some well-deserved praise for that. I can also think about having that learning conversation as well. I can see here how many pieces of evidence the student has collected, and I can also see whether I, as the teacher, have chosen to share that evidence with parents if Brightspace for Parents is turned on at the school board level. So I'm going to click into Lisa, and I want to note that there is a button here about adding to portfolio. As an e-learning teacher, you might not need to use that button as much, but the option is there for you to upload evidence of learning on behalf of your students. I can see that there is spotlighted evidence here for Lisa. So that means I thought she did a really good job on that. Again, same as in the student view, I can see the title that the student gave it. I can see the date and timestamp of when that piece of evidence was collected. I can see whether there is a verbal reflection or a written reflection. And I have one more tab or icon here that the student does not see. And that is so that I know as a teacher whether or not I have categorized that piece of evidence. I'll explain that in just a moment. Any evidence that's not spotlighted, I can see down here. And if there was previous artifacts in Lisa's portfolio, so from another course or from a previous grade, I would be able to see that here as well. So I'm going to click into this rubber egg picture and show you what it looks like from a teacher's perspective. So I can click into here and I can see the picture in a bigger way if I need to and see, yep, that science experiment looks good. Looks like she did a good job and it was successful. I can see the title she gave and I can maybe change that if I needed to for whatever reason, but for our older students, they're probably okay with that. Gonna save. If she has uploaded a oral reflection, I'm gonna see that here and have the capability to listen to it. I can read her reflection here on her project. So my hypothesis was incorrect. I thought the egg would break, but it did bounce. So I can see that her science fair experiment was successful. And then this is where I can come and put evidence categories. So this is going to allow me to find these items easier when it's time for reporting. So I can come in here and whatever my school has provided as categories, I will see here, but I can also make my own tags. So if I've never used it before, I'm gonna have to click add. If I had used it before, I can just start typing and press enter. And I can see that it's tagged down here, experiments and science. So when it's time for me to do my reporting, I can easily search for that information. And this is where I can give some descriptive feedback to my students. So this is really where we can leverage the portfolio as a teacher to easily align to growing success. So I can provide feedback here for Lisa that she will be able to see. And if Brightspace for Parents is turned on and I have chosen to share this portfolio artifact with her parents, they will see this feedback as well. So not only am I giving descriptive feedback right to my students, I'm also easily communicating that with my parents and keeping them informed of Lisa's assessment and her learning progress throughout the year. As you can see here, I can also align to learning expectations, which is wonderful and again helps us really easily ensure that we are aligning to growing success and that we're planning assessments and showing how they pertain to the Ontario curriculum. So I have just added an expectation in here. One thing to note is that your expectations in portfolio will pull from the expectations that you have set up in the lessons tool in the new content experience. So if you have, if you're coming into portfolio and nothing is showing, you just need to go and set it up in lessons. And you would click here and you would get the whatever Ontario curriculum you have pulled into your lessons would populate here, and you would be able to scroll through and click the one that applied to you. So you can see it's slowly starting to load here. So I would be able to click what I need and I would be able to little technical difficulty with my internet here. There would be a blue add button. There it goes. And I would be able to add that and then align this piece of evidence to that learning outcome. You can do overall learning expectation or specific learning expectation, but again, with keeping in line with growing success, we want to provide multiple opportunities for student assessment at that overall expectation level. Another really neat feature about Portfolio from the teacher view is I can add a teacher-only note. So this is something that only I will be able to see as her teacher. It's not getting shared with students or parents. Whoever Lisa has next year for this subject, or if she's in elementary and it's her next homeroom teacher, they won't be able to see this. This is just for my personal note and my anecdotal notes. So I can type here about whether maybe she did most things really, really well. Maybe there's an area that she's still progressing in, and I need to make a note to assess her on that at a later date. Or maybe she smashed the project and the assignment with flying colors, and I need to note to myself that I need to challenge her and I need to set up some enrichment activities for Lisa to really push her and challenge her in this course. And then again, I can, with this click of a button, I can share that with her parents. So again, as a teacher, I have the ability to control what information I am sharing with parents. But if I do want to share it, it's super easy. I just click that. And then again, if your school board has Brightspace for Parents enabled, which I know a lot of school boards are looking at turning on in Ontario, then when that parent logs in, they'll be able to see that in the student's portfolio. And again, they won't see your teacher notes, but they will be able to see the feedback that you've given to the students. And it makes it a little bit easier to share a job well done with parents and keep them in the loop. You don't have to worry about playing phone tag or emails or anything like that. So thank you for watching, and that is some easy ways from the teacher perspective with Portfolio, how you can be easily aligning your VLE course and your assessment practices with growing success.